Hello, everyone, and welcome to English Pod. My name is Marco.
My name is Catherine, and today we have an elementary level lesson for you.
That's right. Today we are getting a tattoo.
Okay, so a tattoo is a picture that you get on your body, and it lasts forever.
That's right. So we're going to get a tattoo. We're going to talk about this very popular form of art on your skin. And so let's start with the dialogue. Let's listen to it, and we'll be back in a bit.
I have made up my mind. I'm getting a tattoo.
Really? Are you sure?
Yeah, why not? They're trendy and look great. I want to get a dragon on my arm or maybe a tiger on my back.
Yeah, but it's something that you'll have forever. They use indelible ink that can only be removed with laser treatment. On top of all of that, I've heard it hurts a lot.
Really?
Of course. They use this machine with a needle that pokes your skin and inserts the ink.
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought they just painted on your skin or something.
I think you should reconsider and do some more research about tattoos. Also, find out where the nearest tattoo parlor is and make sure they use sterilized needles and the place is hygienic.
Maybe I should just get a tongue piercing.
Ew.
All right, we're back. So now let's take a look at 5 keywords that we've picked out for you on Language Takeaway.
Language takeaway.
So the first phrase that we have here on Language Takeaway is indelible ink.
That's right. When you get a tattoo, they draw it on your skin with indelible ink.
Okay, well, ink is what you find in a pen. So when you write with ink. And this is something that you can also paint with. But in this case, we're talking about indelible inks. That means it's going to be permanent in your skin.
So something that is indelible means that you cannot delete or erase.
That's right. You can't take it away.
Okay, indelible ink. Or sometimes people just say permanent ink.
That's right.
Okay, so obviously if you get a tattoo with indelible ink, it is if you want to get it removed, now you can with laser treatment.
Okay, so laser treatment uses this very strong light to burn the ink out of your skin, and it is something that you actually have to go and do many, many times to get the tattoo removed. I've also heard that it's very painful.
Yeah, I've heard that it hurts a lot, more than getting the tattoo.
Right, so laser removal or laser treatment is something that you do when you want to take a tattoo off your body.
I think they also use laser treatment to remove, maybe you have stains on your skin, like from the sun, or even to remove hair, I heard.
Yeah, laser hair removal is something that many people do to take away some of the hair on their bodies that they don't like.
Okay, so obviously because tattoos are forever, this friend is asking this other person to reconsider and do some more research about tattoos.
Well, to consider something means to think about it. So to reconsider means to think about it again.
Right. So if you're going to make a big decision, you should reconsider what you're going to do.
For example, I really want to have a hamburger for dinner, but maybe I should reconsider because hamburgers aren't very healthy. Maybe I should decide on a salad or something.
Very good. Okay. So to reconsider. Now, obviously, when we have a tattoo done, when we get a tattoo, they use this little machine that has a needle inside and it vibrates very, very fast and it kind of injects the ink. So the friend tells this person to make sure that when they use this machine, they use sterilized needles.
Okay, so needles are those very small little things that go into your skin. They hurt. When you get a shot, the doctor will use a needle as well. But a sterilized needle is a needle that is clean.
So something that is sterilized means clean.
That's right, but it's clean for medical use. That means that maybe someone used alcohol or even fire to clean something.
Okay, so as you said, it needs to go through a process to be sterilized. Like if you wash your dishes, they're not sterilized.
No, but if you are getting surgery on your body, the doctor is going to cut you open. He will use sterilized tools.
Okay, very good. And moving on to our last word, very much related to sterilized needles. We're talking about something that is hygienic, to make sure that everything is hygienic when you get a tattoo done.
Okay, well, something that is hygienic is clean. So if you have a baby, you want to make sure that the room that the baby is in is very hygienic. So you clean it very often. Maybe you use some sterilizer to clean the different surfaces and things like that, because babies can get sick easily.
That's right. Okay, very good. So we've taken a look at 5 keywords there. Why don't we listen to our dialogue again? We can review what we've just learned, and we'll be back in a little bit with Fluency Builder.
I have made up my mind. I'm getting a tattoo.
Really? Are you sure?
Yeah, why not? They're trendy and look great. I want to get a dragon on my arm or maybe a tiger on my back.
Yeah, but it's something that you'll have forever. They use indelible ink that can only be removed with laser treatment. On top of all of that, I've heard it hurts a lot.
Really?
Of course. They use this machine with a needle that pokes your skin and inserts the ink.
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought they just painted on your skin or something.
I think you should reconsider and do some more research about tattoos. Also, find out where the nearest tattoo parlor is and make sure they use sterilized needles and the place is hygienic.
Maybe I should just get a tongue piercing.
Ew.
All right, we're back. So now let's take a look at some phrases on Fluency Builder.
Fluency Builder.
We only have 3 phrases today, but the first one is a phrase you'll hear very, very often in English. It's, I've made up my mind.
That's right. The dialogue starts by saying, I've made up my mind. I am getting a tattoo. So what does it mean if you have made up your mind?
Well, it means that you have decided something. I have decided to do something. And the present tense of this phrase is to make up someone's mind. So I make up my mind, you make up your mind, he makes up his mind.
Okay, so if you're choosing something or making a decision, when you finally make that decision, that means that you have made up your mind.
Maybe we're shopping, Marco, and you're thinking, well, do I want this or do I want that? Well, I'll say, come on, Marco, make up your mind.
That's right.
That means just pick one. Just decide.
Decide. Very good. So a very common phrase, to make up your mind, to make a decision. And, well, as we continued on with the dialogue, the friend was saying how the tattoos are forever, and if you want to get it removed, you need to use laser treatment, and ends this part by saying, on top of all that, I have heard it hurts a lot.
On top of all that. This means, and even more. So basically, when you're trying to give reasons for something, maybe reasons for doing something or reasons for not doing something, you give your reasons, and at the end you say, and on top of all that. So in addition, or even more than that, this is the case. So
right. So maybe we're talking about a car and you say, well, that car is not very reliable. It uses a lot of fuel. It's very uncomfortable inside. And on top of that, it's expensive.
And on top of all that, it's ugly.
That's right. So you're kind of listing things and you're telling the person why you think something is good or bad, and then you end it by giving a final reason. And on top of that.
Exactly.
All right. And our last phrase, it's actually interesting because the place where you go and get a tattoo is called a tattoo parlor.
Okay, it's a parlor. Now, this is interesting because you might think that you would say a tattoo shop, but we don't say this. So think about a beauty salon or beauty parlor. A parlor is a shop where we get our appearance changed. In this case, a tattoo parlor is a special shop where you can get a tattoo, or in the case of this person, maybe get your ears pierced or your tongue pierced or your nose pierced. So a tattoo parlor is a place to go for that.
All right. So a lot of phrases there. Let's review everything one last time and we'll be back to talk some more.
I have made up my mind. I'm getting a tattoo.
Really? Are you sure?
Yeah, why not? They're trendy and look great. I want to get a dragon on my arm or maybe a tiger on my back.
Yeah, but it's something that you'll have forever. They use indelible ink that can only be removed with laser treatment. On top of all of that, I've heard it hurts a lot.
Really?
Of course. They use this machine with a needle that pokes your skin and inserts the ink.
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought they just painted on your skin or something.
I think you should reconsider and do some more research about tattoos. Also, find out where the nearest tattoo parlor is and make sure they use sterilized needles and the place is hygienic.
Maybe I should just get a tongue piercing.
Ew.
So talking about tattoos and also piercings, a very popular thing nowadays, especially we didn't touch on the piercing aspect of the dialogue. To get your ears pierced or to get your tongue pierced means that you're going to create a hole in your tongue so you can put a ring or something in it.
That's right. So many women have their ears pierced. This means that they can wear earrings, and these are small holes in the bottom of your ear. But a lot of people nowadays like to get their nose pierced, so a hole in the side of the nose, or their tongues pierced.
That's right. You see people now get eyebrows pierced, their lips pierced, even below the lip, like, I don't know, near the chin, between the chin and the lip, they get this thing through it. It's very interesting.
Yeah, also I've seen belly buttons.
Belly buttons
Like
get
on your
pierced.
stomach, yeah.
That's right. And tattoos as well. Tattoos are so popular now. People get tattoos, arms, legs, your neck, face, everywhere now.
That's right, and there are special names for these in English. For example, if you have a very big tattoo in your arm from your shoulder to your elbow, that's called a sleeve tattoo because it looks like a permanent sleeve.
That's right. And actually, women get tattoos also, but for cosmetic reasons. Like many women get their eyebrows tattooed.
Yeah, I've seen this. So some women like to get these tattoos that look like makeup. So maybe if you want your nice eyebrows all the time, you get these eyebrow tattoos. Or if you want some dark lines under your eyes, like eyeliner, then you get the eyeliner tattoo.
Also, I've seen the lip liner tattoo. They do it around the lips to make it seem like you consistently have lip liner.
Interesting. Well, I don't know if I do that because some days you just don't want to wear makeup.
That's right. But actually, tattoos in many cultures are frowned upon. I know that until very recently in Japanese culture, tattoos were illegal because they were
Because of the
synonym
Yakuza.
of the Yakuza.
And in Jewish culture, you're not allowed to have a tattoo on your body. And so that if you die with a tattoo, you cannot go to a Jewish graveyard.
Oh, really? I've also heard that in many countries, some job positions, you cannot obtain if you have a tattoo.
Well,
It's very interesting. I don't know why that would influence it.
I think it's definitely culture to culture because it's very popular in America right now to have tattoos, but in
Right.
China and Japan and East Asia, they're definitely frowned upon. I think.
Even, for example, in the armed forces in the United States, it's very popular for them to have an American flag or
Yeah.
something. You see it all the time in movies, but in other countries, you cannot join the armed forces if you have a tattoo.
Interesting. Well, let us know. Is having a tattoo okay in your culture, or do people tend to think that it's a bad thing?
Or maybe you have a tattoo.
Do you have a tattoo or a piercing in your nose or your lip or your tongue? Let us know. Our website is englishpod.com. We hope to see you there.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.
The English Pod Audio Review. Listen to the meaning, then say the vocabulary word.
Following the latest trends. Trendy. Besides that. On top of all that. To think carefully about something again. Reconsider. Clean and unlikely to cause illness. Hygienic. Completely clean and free from germs. Sterilized.
Let's try that faster.
To think carefully about something again. Reconsider. Besides that. On top of all that. Clean and unlikely to cause illness. Hygienic. Following the latest trends. Trendy. Completely clean and free from germs. Sterilized.
Now say the word and hear it in a sentence.
Trendy. Sarah always dresses in the newest, most trendy clothes. Trendy. If you only buy trendy clothes, they'll be out of fashion by next year. Trendy. My grandpa isn't trendy, but he dresses in a way that's fashionable and classic. On top of all that. I have to wash the dishes, do the laundry, and on top of that, I have to walk the stupid dog. On top of all that. My boss gave me a report to read, a presentation to finish, and on top of that, he said that the deadline for my project is Thursday. On top of all that. She has to go to school, go to her internship, and on top of that, she has a baby at home. Reconsider. I really wanted a BMW, but after looking at the price tag, I might have to reconsider. Reconsider. Henry wanted to ask Laura out, but he had to reconsider after seeing her with another man. Reconsider. Are you sure you want to move to China? Maybe you should reconsider. Sterilized. The needles at the doctor's office are all sterilized. Sterilized. You'll need to sterilize that cup before you give it to the baby. Sterilized. The nurse had to come in and sterilize all the surfaces. Hygienic. I like to live in a clean, hygienic environment. Hygienic. The restaurant has great food and is very hygienic. Hygienic. He's a great guy, but he's not very neat or hygienic.
Today we're bringing you a lesson about the office, so something related to business, right?
That's right. And in this lesson, we're learning language you can use to tell someone they did a good job.
Okay, so a job well done. You want to praise somebody.
That's right. So we're going to listen in as a manager praises his employee on a presentation.
Okay, so before we listen to the dialogue, let's take a look very quickly at vocabulary preview.
Vocabulary preview.
Well, we're going to hear both of these words in the dialogue, and the first one is a whiz.
Whiz.
To be a whiz.
Okay, so it's an adjective. Somebody is a whiz.
That's right. And whiz comes from the word wizard.
Okay, so kind of like a witch, but a guy witch.
Yeah, man witch. But so a whiz is someone who is really good at something.
Okay, so I can say David is a computer whiz.
Or Anthony is a math whiz.
Okay, so he's really good at computers, or he's really good at math, or he knows a lot about math.
Exactly.
Okay, and our second word.
Well, we're going to hear about slides.
Slides.
PowerPoint slides.
PowerPoint slides. Okay, so everyone knows PowerPoint, right?
A computer program.
A computer program that you use to make presentations.
And a slide is one page in that presentation.
Okay, so if you have 10 pages in your PowerPoint presentation, you basically have 10 slides.
Exactly.
Very good. So now let's listen to the dialogue for the first time, and we're going to see what's happening in this business meeting.
And so that concludes my outline for our marketing strategy next year. Thank you very much for your time.
Hey, that was quite the presentation. Honestly, I was completely blown away by your strategy outline. I've got to say, Alex, you really wowed me today.
Come on. It was nothing. I'm just doing my job.
No, I think you deserve some recognition here. I mean, if I look back on your previous presentations, this is a huge improvement.
Well, Kristen did give me a hand with the slides. She's a real whiz on PowerPoint.
And I saw that you took on board my feedback about pricing strategies. I really appreciate you taking the time to think through my suggestions.
Yeah, well, that was some good advice. You made some really good points.
Well, I just wanted to say, well done. Really, you did a great job.
All right, well, it sounds like the employee is a little bit shy or embarrassed by receiving all of these compliments.
Yeah, I guess he's kind of being humble about it.
Exactly. So why don't we move on to the language now? There are so many really useful phrases in this dialogue that I think we're just going to focus on those today. So let's get started with Fluency Builder.
Fluency Builder.
Okay, so today on Fluency Builder, let's start with our first phrase. The boss was so impressed with the presentation that he said, I was completely blown away.
To be completely blown away.
Okay, so to be completely blown away.
Or to be blown away.
All right, so what does that mean, to be blown away?
To be surprised and amazed, but in a very positive way.
Okay, so I can say, I'm surprised, I'm amazed, but I'm still not very clear on this. Why don't we listen to a couple of examples of how we could use this phrase?
Example 1.
Carl blew me away with his knowledge of political science.
Example 2.
I was blown away when I heard that Jenny and Rick had gotten married. They've known each other for less than a month.
Example 3.
My parents were blown away when they found out I had a tattoo.
Okay, so I think that's a little bit clearer now. And this is a wonderful way to give your praise to someone when they do something really amazing.
Okay, so completely blown away. You blew me away.
That's right.
Now, what about our second word?
Well, it's quite similar. The boss said that you really wowed me.
You wowed me.
To wow someone.
Okay, so it's spelled W-O-W, wow.
So when you wow someone, you make that person go, wow.
Okay, so you impress somebody.
Yep.
To wow someone. I can use it as a verb.
Yep.
You wowed me. I want to wow you.
Well, I want you to wow me.
Okay, so wow. Now, let's take a look at our third phrase. The guy, he's a little bit shy. He's trying to be a little bit humble about, receiving so many compliments. So he says, oh, it was nothing.
It was nothing.
Really, it was nothing.
It was nothing.
So that's a way of saying it wasn't hard or it's not a big deal.
It's not that important.
Exactly. So if somebody's saying, wow, thank you so much for lending me your car. Don't worry about
nothing.
It was nothing.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
It's a polite way, actually, to respond to a nice compliment.
Very good. So before we move on to our next phrase, let's listen to a couple of examples with it was nothing.
Example 1.
Thanks for lending me your car this week. I really appreciate it.
It's okay, really. It was nothing.
Example 2.
I can't believe you organized this surprise birthday party. Thank you so much.
Don't worry about it. It was nothing.
Okay, so I think that's pretty clear. Now, our final phrase here for Fluency Builder, the employee said that Kirsten gave him a hand.
Okay, so to give someone a hand.
Give me a hand.
Give me a hand.
Basically to help someone.
Help me or assist me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so to help someone, give me a hand or let me give you a hand.
That's right.
All right, very good. So great phrases in Fluency Builder today. I think it's time for us to listen to the dialogue for the second time. We're going to slow it down a little bit so we can catch all these phrases, and then we'll come back.
And so that concludes my outline for our marketing strategy for next year. Thank you very much for your time.
Hey, that was quite the presentation. Honestly, I was completely blown away by your strategy outline. I've got to say, Alex, you really wowed me today.
Ah, come on. It was nothing. I'm just doing my job.
No, I think you deserve some recognition here. I mean, if I look back on your previous presentations, this is a huge improvement.
Well, Kristen did give me a hand with the slides. She's a real whiz on PowerPoint.
And I saw that you took on board my feedback about pricing strategies. I really appreciate you taking the time to think through my suggestions.
Yeah, well, that was some good advice. You made some really good points.
Well, I just wanted to say, well done. Really, you did a great job.
Okay, so like we said before, there's a lot of really helpful phrases in here. And we're going to look at a few more of these in putting it together.
Putting it together.
Okay, so let's start with the first phrase. The boss was quite impressed with him, and he said, "That was quite the presentation."
That was quite the presentation.
All right, quite the presentation.
So this phrase, quite the presentation, it means it was good, right? Mm-hmm. It was special.
It was very good.
Yep. Now we can take the noun presentation out and replace it with any other noun.
All right, so I can say, Bob is quite the basketball player.
Mm-hmm. Why don't we listen now for a few more examples?
Example 1.
I heard you are quite the dancer. Can you teach me some moves?
Example 2.
Carl is quite the ladies' man. He is very good when it comes to talking to girls.
Example 3.
Nancy is quite gifted at math. She can solve any math problem you give her.
So you're saying in a very good way that something is very good.
Or special.
Very special.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
All right. So the boss was very impressed with the employee, and he said, "And I saw that you took on board my feedback."
To take on board my feedback.
Okay, so take on board something.
Mm-hmm. So here, my feedback is my suggestions, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when you take on board my feedback, you accept my feedback and you use it.
Okay, so I can say, for example, I want you to take on board my ideas.
Mm-hmm. Or Jenny took on board a few of my suggestions. I was really happy.
Okay, very good. So to take on board, to accept and use.
All right, so take on board feedback, take on board suggestion, take on board ideas.
Okay, very good. And we have one more phrase, I'm putting it together today. To think something through.
To think it through.
Okay, so think it through.
So here, the boss said that he took the time to think through my suggestions.
Mm-hmm. So think through, what does that mean?
To think carefully about all of the details of something.
Okay, so to take into consideration all the aspects.
Right. So why don't we give an example? Mm-hmm. If you're thinking through a plan, right, you don't just think about the end, the outcome.
Okay.
You want to think about all of the small details, the steps in that plan.
Okay. So maybe I want to buy a new car, but it's a lot of money, so I really have to think it through.
So you have to think carefully about everything that is involved in buying the new car. All the money you're going to have to not spend on parties and...
Exactly. You have to think it through. You have to analyze it very carefully.
That's right. So let's give a few examples of how we can use this phrase. Hey, Marco, have you thought through my suggestions?
I can say you guys are very young. I think you should think it through before you get married.
Good advice.
Okay. So to think it through.
Okay. So 3 great phrases, and why don't we hear them one more time in our dialogue?
And so that concludes my outline for our marketing strategy next year. Thank you very much for your time.
Hey, that was quite the presentation. Honestly, I was completely blown away by your strategy outline. I've got to say, Alex, you really wowed me today.
Come on. It was nothing. I'm just doing my job.
No, I think you deserve some recognition here. I mean, if I look back on your previous presentations, this is a huge improvement.
Well, Kristen did give me a hand with the slides. She's a real whiz on PowerPoint.
And I saw that you took on board my feedback about pricing strategies. I really appreciate you taking the time to think through my suggestions.
Yeah, well, that was some good advice. You made some really good points.
Well, I just wanted to say, well done. Really, you did a great job.
Okay, great dialogue and some interesting phrases for giving praise, right? That's, I think, very important in the workplace.
Yeah, and you know what? I read recently that something like 6 out of every 10 employees don't get regular praise from their boss.
Yeah, it's very important. And in some cultures, well, it's not very common to praise or to give positive feedback to their employees.
Yeah, but I think for Western employees, actually, it's really important, and it helps them work harder. The more times they hear "job well done."
Yeah, very good. So now you have the tools that maybe you can use with your employees or
with your friends.
Yep. Okay, so if you have any questions, comments, or doubts.
Yep, Marco and I are always around to help you out. So until next time, thanks for listening and goodbye.
Bye. The English Pod Audio Review. Listen to the meaning, then say the vocabulary word. Used to say it was good.
Quite the.
Praise given to someone for doing a good job.
Give credit.
The action of saying a person did a good job.
Praise.
Speech, demo, a meeting where you present something.
Presentation.
Make someone confident, help them do better.
Encourage.
To tell the truth, frankly speaking.
Honestly.
To publicly give special attention to someone for doing a good job.
Recognize.
Impressed by.
Blow someone away.
Suggestions for improvement.
Constructive criticism.
Amaze, impress.
To wow someone.
Used to show humbleness.
It was nothing.
Are entitled to.
Deserve.
Praises, credit.
Recognition.
Recall the past.
Look back on.
Advance, progress.
Improvement.
Help someone.
Give someone a hand.
A genius.
Whiz.
Adopt.
Take on board.
Other people's opinions.
Feedback.
To carefully consider and think about it.
Think through.
Good job.
Well done.
Let's try that faster.
Used to show humbleness.
It was nothing.
Amaze, impress.
To wow someone.
A genius.
Whiz.
Make someone confident. Help them do better.
Encourage.
Help someone.
Give someone a hand.
Are entitled to.
Deserve.
Advance. Progress.
Improvement.
Recall the past.
Look back on.
Adopt.
Take on board.
Praises. Credit.
Recognition.
Other people's opinions.
Feedback.
Good job.
Well done.
To tell the truth. Frankly speaking.
Honestly.
Used to say it was good.
Quite the.
To carefully consider and think about it.
Think through.
Suggestions for improvement.
Constructive criticism.
The action of saying a person did a good job.
Praise.
Impressed by.
Blow someone away.
To publicly give special attention to someone for doing a good job.
Recognize.
Praise given to someone for doing a good job.
Give credit.
Speech, demo, a meeting where you present something.
Presentation.
Now say the word and hear it in a sentence.
Quite the. I heard you are quite the dancer. Can you teach me some moves? Quite the. Carl is quite the ladies' man. He is very good when it comes to talking to girls. Quite the. That's quite the car. You must have spent a lot of money on it. Blow someone away. Carl blew me away with his knowledge of political science. Blow someone away. I was blown away when I heard that Jenny and Rick had gotten married. They have known each other for less than a month. Blow someone away. My parents were blown away when they found out I had a tattoo. Look back on. When I look back and remember everything I did in high school, I feel so stupid. Look back on. When I look back, I'm amazed at all I have accomplished. Look back on. We raised 3 kids and worked full-time, so sometimes I look back and wonder how we did it. Take on board. Banks really need to take on board the views of their customers to understand them better. Take on board. It seems that young people are finally taking on board the message that it's not cool to smoke. Take on board. Mike is not the type of person that takes on board any feedback. Think through. I really need to think through my options in order to make a decision. Think through. We can't afford a mistake, so think things through and make sure you have everything ready. Think through. You should think through all these questions before you start writing your report.
In today's story, we'll uncover 5 powerful lessons about managing money. Lessons you might not learn in school but are crucial for achieving financial success. As we dive into Sam's journey, we'll also learn some new words and see how to use them in sentences. This will help us practice English in a fun and easy way. So, stay with us till the end. Once upon a time, in a bustling little town, there lived a 27-year-old man named Sam. One afternoon, he sat on the side of the road, lost in thought. Despite working hard for 5 years, his life hadn't improved. Sam wondered if there was a way to escape poverty and achieve true wealth. As he strolled by a grand mansion, something compelled him to step past the tall iron gate without permission. Little did he know, this daring act would lead him to a life-changing lesson about money. From afar, he saw an elderly man sitting on a garden bench with a cup of coffee in hand. This man was Mr. Hayes, the mansion's owner, a wealthy but humble and generous soul. Sam approached him, politely apologizing. "I'm sorry for entering without permission, Mr. Hayes." Recognizing Sam, Mr. Hayes was surprised by his sudden visit but welcomed him kindly, curious to know why he had come. Sam took a seat beside Mr. Hayes and began, "Sir, I've worked for 5 years, earning a decent wage, yet my life hasn't changed. I don't splurge, but I just can't seem to get ahead. Do you have any advice on how someone like me could become wealthy?" With a warm smile, Mr. Hayes replied, "Anyone can achieve wealth, Sam, including you." He continued, "I'll share 5 principles about money that you won't learn in school. Follow these carefully, and I assure you, you'll find yourself on the path to financial success." Eagerly, Sam listened as Mr. Hayes began. "The first rule," Mr. Hayes said, "is to spend less than you earn. This is the foundation. If you don't master this, you can't move on to the other steps. For example, if you make $5,000 a month, set aside at least $2,000. If it's $3,000, save $1,000. Avoid expenses that exceed your income, whether loans or gambling. Even with a 6-figure salary, without this rule, you'll remain in debt." Sam nodded thoughtfully, absorbing each word. Mr. Hayes took a calm sip of his coffee and continued. "The second rule is to have an emergency fund. Life is unpredictable. Car repairs, a leaky roof, or even layoffs can happen at any time. Without an emergency fund, you're forced to borrow or sell assets at a loss, which restricts your options and adds stress. Think of it as your safety net, protecting your finances when unexpected events arise." Sam nodded again, appreciating the wisdom in this approach. Let's get to the third lesson, which is investing. Now, people like you might feel unsure about investing in a business or stock since you may not have much knowledge. So, the best investment you can make right now is in yourself. Curious, Sam asked. "How, sir?" Mr. Hayes continued, "Take your skill set, whether it's carpentry, plumbing, or customer service. Invest your time, energy, and money into mastering it further. Learn where your boss sources materials or explore ways to market your services better. Use some of your savings to improve your expertise, attend courses, buy tools, or read relevant books." Realizing the value of these words, Sam looked at Mr. Hayes with newfound determination, regretting he hadn't learned this sooner. Mr. Hayes continued with the 4th lesson. "Now that you're gaining skills, it's time to start earning more. Once you've honed your abilities, maybe you'll start your own business and your income will grow. You're no longer paid per hour, but earned based on what you produce. The harder you work, the more you earn. The sky was getting darker, yet Sam felt no urge to leave. He was eager to learn the final principle. Mr. Hayes looked at him and said, "And finally, the fifth lesson, create passive income. When you've applied the first four principles, you should have extra money. Now, it's time to let your money work for you. You can invest in property, start a rental business, buy a franchise, or research other sources of passive income. Think carefully and choose wisely." "How about it, Sam? Are you ready to take on these lessons?" Mr. Hayes asked, ending the conversation with a gentle smile. Brimming with excitement, Sam replied, "I used to just go to work, save a little, and hope for wealth to come my way. But I now understand that there's a real strategy, and I'm thankful, sir, for the invaluable guidance." Today we learned new words and sentences through this story about wealth and financial wisdom. Remember, learning English can be fun when you practice regularly. So, keep listening, learning, and growing. Make sure to like, comment, and share how this story helped you improve your English. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next story, where we'll continue learning together.
The English Pod audio review. Listen to the meaning, then say the vocabulary word.
Something is usual or expected. Norm. The money that a country uses. Currency. The sum of money required to reinstate. Margin deposit. Taking effect rapidly. Drastically. Very quickly, just a second. Split second. An offer to pay a particular amount of money. Bid.
Let's try that faster.
The sum of money required to reinstate. Margin deposit. Something is usual or expected. Norm. Very quickly, just a second. Split second. An offer to pay a particular amount of money. Bid. Taking effect rapidly. Drastically. The money that a country uses. Currency.
Now say the word and hear it in a sentence.
Norm. What's the norm in this company concerning protocol? Norm. This is the norm, so you'd better get used to it. Norm. Delivery, McDonald's, and street vendors are the norms around here. Currency. Before I went to France, I had to change some of my Canadian currency into euros. Currency. What's the currency in this country? Currency. My country's currency is worth next to nothing in USD. Margin deposit. He decided to start with a margin deposit of GBP 100. Margin deposit. I can't believe that I can trade with USD 1 million deposit when I've only put in a margin deposit of USD 10,000. Margin deposit. One has to be careful with trading using a margin deposit because the risk of losing more money than one has are high. Split second. The gang members were closing in on me fast, so I made a split-second decision to run instead of fight. Split second. My heart pounded as I made a split-second decision and took hold of her hand. Split second. My split-second decision to try a trick on my bicycle in order to impress my friends didn't end well. Bid. The current bid ask for EUR USD is 1.3998-79. Bid. I bought euros at an ask of $1.4235 and sold British pounds at a bid of $1.5001. Bid. The bid for Japanese yen and the ask for Hong Kong dollars are really good right now if you trade in US currency.
Welcome to another deep dive.
Great to be here.
Today, we're digging into some really potent practical insights. We've got these transcripts from a YouTube channel, English Podcast Zone.
Right. And the mission, as I see it, is to pull out actionable stuff you can actually use.
Exactly. We're covering two, pretty distinct areas. First, professional communication specifically, how to give praise that actually lands.
And then we pivot.
Yeah, then we'll shift gears completely to the basics of personal financial success, all designed to give you clear takeaways. Sound good?
Let's do it.
Okay, so let's unpack this first scenario. We're basically dropping into a business meeting.
Mm-hmm.
You've got a manager praising an employee, Alex, about a presentation he just gave.
And what's fascinating, I think, is how this conversation really gives us a kind of blueprint. It's not just what you say, but how it feels, how it lands.
Totally. The manager starts off acknowledging help Alex got. He says Kristen is a real whiz on PowerPoint.
Whiz, yeah. It's informal but respectful, right? Like a wizard, someone really skilled.
Yeah. It feels authentic. It says, I see your specific talent. Less corporate jargon.
Right. And then the manager says he was completely blown away by Alex's strategy outline.
Which is much stronger than just good job.
Oh, definitely. Blown away. That's like, wow, genuine surprise, amazement in a good way.
Mm-hmm.
It tells Alex his work didn't just meet expectations, it smashed him.
He also uses, you really wowed me today.
Yeah, another step up. Wow. It's almost that involuntary reaction. It makes the praise feel really personal, deeply felt.
Yeah, you feel the impact. And I like this bit too. He says, that was quite the presentation.
That's a great phrase. Quite the anything, really.
Right. Quite the basketball player. Quite the, problem solver.
Exactly. It's informal, kind of understated, but it signals something special, noteworthy. It subtly says, you've set a high bar here.
And he does wrap it up with clearer stuff, too, like, you deserve some recognition, this is a huge improvement, and then a simple, well done, you did a great job.
It's layered. You get the high-impact emotional phrases, then the clear affirmation. It covers all bases.
Now, Alex's response is interesting, too. He says, come on, it was nothing.
Classic humble response. It's polite, deflects a bit, shows modesty, especially maybe because Kristen helped him.
Right, acknowledges the team aspect subtly. And it shows confidence, too, maybe. Like he doesn't need constant applause.
Could be. And the dialogue also touches on collaboration, which is key. Alex mentions Kristen did give me a hand with the slides.
Simple, direct, gives credit where it's due.
And crucially, he says he took on board my feedback about pricing strategies, talking about the manager's earlier input.
That phrase, took on board, it means more than just hearing it, doesn't it?
Oh, much more. It means you absorbed it, you used it, you acted on it. It closes the feedback loop, shows you're adaptable, willing to learn. That's huge.
Definitely. And the manager notes he appreciated Alex taking time to think through my suggestions.
Think through implies careful consideration, right? Not just a quick glance, but really analyzing the details, the implications.
Builds trust in his judgment, I imagine.
Absolutely. It shows thoughtfulness.
So pulling this all together, what's the takeaway for you listening?
Well, the sources really hammer home how important praise is at work. It's kind of shocking, that statistic. Something like 6 out of 10 employees feel they don't get regular praise.
Wow, 6 out of 10?
Yeah. And okay, sure, there are cultural differences in how direct people are with positive feedback. But for many, getting that consistent, meaningful praise, it's a huge motivator.
It's more than just making people feel good.
Exactly. It reinforces the behavior you want to see, boosts engagement, tells people their work is actually valued. It's strategic, really, an investment in your people.
Strategic investment. That's a good segue, actually, because that same idea applies to our next topic, right?
It really does.
Okay, so here's where it gets, I think, really interesting. We've talked about how words build value. Now let's talk about how managing resources builds value financially. We're shifting gears, diving into a story about financial success.
Yeah. And this narrative, it lays out a clear path, a strategy, really. It suggests that financial success isn't just luck or, who you know. It's something you can build.
So the story's about Sam. He's 27, working hard for 5 years, but feels stuck, like he's not getting ahead.
Just treading water, basically.
Right. And he meets this guy, Mr. Hayes. Wealthy, but also humble, generous. And Mr. Hayes shares these 5 core principles about money, stuff he says you don't learn in school.
And the power isn't necessarily in each rule being brand new, but how they fit together. It's a sequence, a deliberate strategy.
Okay, so rule number 1. Mr. Hayes calls it the non-negotiable foundation. Spend less than you earn.
Bedrock. Absolutely. If you don't nail this one, nothing else really works. The source gives examples like, if you make $5,000 a month, save at least $2,000. Make $3,000, save $1,000.
So a significant chunk.
Yeah, it's about creating that gap, that surplus, living below your means consistently, and being ruthless about avoiding debt or, gambling, things that just drain your income, even if you earn a lot. Discipline.
Makes sense. Principle 2 then builds on that. Have an emergency fund. The safety net.
Crucial. Because life happens, right? The car breaks down, the roof leaks, you lose your job.
Yeah, unexpected stuff.
Exactly. And that fund, maybe 3 to 6 months of expenses, stops you from having to borrow at high interest or sell investments when the market's down. It protects your whole plan.
Okay, protection first. Then principle 3, invest in yourself. Mr. Hayes apparently calls this the best investment.
Especially if you're not like a stock market guru or business owner yet. It means really mastering your current skill, whatever it is, carpentry, plumbing, customer service.
So get really good at what you already do.
Yes, deep mastery. The advice is practical too. Find out where your boss gets materials. Figure out how to market yourself better. Use some savings for courses, better tools, books, anything that makes you better at your craft. That investment pays off directly.
Okay, so once you've leveled up your skills, that leads to principle 4. Start earning more.
This is where you leverage those improved skills. Often, it means maybe starting your own thing, a side hustle, or even a full business. The key shift is moving from just getting paid for your time to getting paid for the value you produce.
So like the harder you work, the more you earn kind of thing.
Exactly. Breaking free from that fixed hourly rate or salary ceiling, potentially.
Right. And then finally, after you've done all that, saved, protected yourself, invested in skills, started earning more, then comes principle 5. Create passive income.
This is the end game for many. Letting your money work for you.
Mr. Hayes suggests things like investing in property that generates rent. Maybe starting a rental business, buying a franchise.
Stuff that makes money without you actively working on it day to day.
Right. But it requires research, capital you've built up from the other steps, and a strategic approach. You don't just jump into this.
So this whole sequence really forces the question for you listening. What's your strategy right now? Is it just hope? And that's the realization Sam has in the story, isn't it?
Yeah.
He goes from just working, saving a bit, and kind of hoping things get better, to having what Mr. Hayes calls a real strategy.
Yeah.
A concrete, step-by-step plan that puts him in the driver's seat.
What a contrast between those two sections, yet there are connections. We went from the nuances of communication, impactful praise, to this very structured path for financial well-being, intentionality seems to be the link.
It really is. And that kind of leads to a final thought for you to mull over.
Okay.
Think about how both these areas, communication and finance, they really boil down to strategic investment, don't they?
Huh. Yeah, I see that.
Whether you're investing in your professional relationships through thoughtful praise or investing in your future through mastering skills and managing money, the core question is, are you actively creating the conditions for growth?
Or are you just passively waiting, like Sam was initially, for wealth to come your way?
Exactly. Something to think about.
Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are cracking open a hidden playbook for success. We're about to pull some seriously powerful lessons on communication and on building wealth from a place you would absolutely never, ever think to look. A simple English lesson. So let me ask you, if you wanted to find the real secrets to getting ahead at work and, building some actual wealth, where would you go? Business school? Maybe a best-selling book? Some high-ticket seminar? Yeah, those are the usual suspects. But what if the real answer was way simpler and it was hiding in plain sight this whole time? You heard that right. We found 2 complete, totally powerful blueprints for success, and they were both tucked away inside just one English lesson. One playbook is all about creating value with people, and the other, it's about creating value with money. Let's dive into that first one. So, Act 1. This is all about the art of encouraging people. Think of it as a playbook for communication that can literally transform how you work with your team. And it's all drawn from a pretty standard office conversation. Okay, so picture this. An employee, Alex, he just wrapped up a presentation. His manager doesn't just mumble, "Good job." No way. He uses language that is specific, it's powerful, and it's genuinely motivating. What we're hearing here isn't just a nice compliment. It's basically a masterclass in how to give praise that actually lands and makes a difference. And that right there is the key. Phrases like blown away or you wowed me, they aren't just filler words. They are precision tools. They communicate a level of impact that generic feedback like nice work just completely misses. So let's decode some of the core language from this playbook. First up, to be blown away. This isn't just, oh, I'm impressed. No, this is being genuinely surprised, kind of shocked, and amazed. It's the kind of phrase you use when someone's work doesn't just meet your expectations, it completely shatters them in the best possible way. And then you've got the verb to wow someone. This one is so cool because it describes an action that causes a literal, physical reaction in someone. Wow. So when a manager says, "You wowed me," it's direct, it's full of energy, and it leaves zero doubt about the impact you just had. Now, in this little scene, the employee, Alex, he tries to be humble and share the credit. He says a coworker gave him a hand. This is a classic idiom that just means to help or assist someone. It's a great move because it shows you're a team player and you've got some humility, another key part of this whole professional playbook. And the dialogue was just packed with these little verbal tools. Calling someone a whiz? That's recognizing their unique genius. Agreeing to take feedback on board? That shows you're open and coachable. Promising to think it through? Shows you're thoughtful and diligent. I mean, this is literally the language of teams that win. Okay, so that's a really solid blueprint for professional communication, right? But remember how we said we found 2 playbooks? Well, this is where things get really, really interesting. Let's pivot to part 2 and see how this all connects. Hiding in the exact same lesson was a second, and I'd say equally powerful playbook. So for Act 2, we're shifting gears. This isn't about professional praise anymore. It's about personal prosperity and the fundamental rock-solid rules of building wealth. The lesson totally shifts to a young guy named Sam who feels like he's just stuck, financially. He meets this wealthy mentor, Mr. Hayes, who drops this line on him. And right there, the entire playbook switches from the currency of praise to the currency of, currency. And just like that, Mr. Hayes lays out a whole second blueprint. This one isn't for presentations or office feedback, it's for financial independence. He shares 5 simple, powerful rules that he says, and this is key, they don't teach you in school, but they are the absolute bedrock of building wealth. And here they are. What's so brilliant about these rules is the order. It's a sequence. It all starts with a foundation, right? Create a surplus. Just spend less than you earn. Simple. But wait, before you do anything fancy, you build a safety net, that emergency fund. Only then, once you're secure, do you invest in your single most powerful asset, you. Sharpening your skills directly helps you earn more, which then finally fuels the ultimate goal, passive income. That's where your money starts working for you, not the other way around. It's a ladder, and you got to climb each step to get to the next one. So let's just pull back for a second and look at the whole picture here. A single English lesson just handed us two completely distinct, super powerful playbooks for two of the most important areas of our lives. Pretty wild, right? So on one side, you've got the blueprint for encouraging excellence. That's all about using language to build great relationships, motivate people, and create value in your career. And on the other side, you've got the blueprint for building wealth, which uses clear principles to manage your resources, cut down on risk, and build real financial freedom. And that, right there, is the ultimate takeaway. Real, lasting success isn't just a single track. It's about mastering two completely different relationships. Your relationship with people and your relationship with money. One playbook builds your social capital, the other builds your financial capital. And to really, truly thrive, you've got to be fluent in both. Which brings us to the final question for you. The first playbook, it's about adding value to other people. The second one is about building and securing value for yourself. Both are absolutely essential. So take a look at your life right now. Which blueprint are you going to work on first?